We see with one love, one heart, one drum beating to a song they're singing us home. We dance in white light under the starlight. We are the sacred seeds of the sound of Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers.
We're just going to begin with the moment of prayer. So we just want to get still after all that good rabble-rousing music. And together, let's take a deep breath in and slowly release that breath. Another deep breath in together. A little pause at the top and a gentle release. We just allow ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, to drop into this moment. With our breath, we intentionally open our hearts and open our minds, and together we sanctify this time. We claim our blessing. We know that we've each come here today both to be a blessing and to receive a blessing. For this truth and so much more, we simply say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Thank you guys for being here today, both online and in person. It's a good day. Nice, had some beautiful rain, and it's refreshing and steamy at the same time outside right now, which is kind of, yeah, I like the steaminess to a degree. I missed it a little bit when I lived in Texas, but it's really nice. So I'm Reverend Beverly Pryor, and I am going to give you a lesson or a talk. I don't do sermons. We don't really do that here. We just give you some ideas. You can take them or leave them. You can integrate them. You can dismiss them. Whatever it is that works for you. But at Unity, we like to say we are unapologetically inclusive. No matter what your background is, what your preferences are, you can find a home in Unity. We don't force doctrine. We don't even have doctrine. We just encourage you to evolve into and be empowered to be whatever your highest and best is. And along the lines of this unapologetically inclusive logo, Angela is wanting to order some t-shirts from Unity Worldwide that have this on it, so that whoever wants to join together and go and support some of the Pride activities in June, that we would go together in the same ally t-shirt. So if you'll talk to Angela, everybody knows which one is Angela. I think she said there were $25. That's no markup or anything. We'll just collect the money here and then order them all at one time from Unity. And I definitely am going to get one. I love the rainbow logo, and that logo is reserved only for Ally and Pride activities. So if you want to have a experience with that beautiful t-shirt. So we, sometime back, many of you were there, we had Reverend Becky come and facilitate Mission, Vision, and Values activity for us, a workshop. And this is the vision statement that you as a community collectively have determined is best descriptive of our intention. So let's say this vision together. A unified, diverse world embracing divine connection and inclusion for all. And our mission statement that goes along with that, together, to shine light, peace, and love by empowering and transforming lives through experiences of service and community. Just let that land for a moment. So that whole t-shirt idea gives us a way to be a community within the community, to go out as Unity of Little Rock and to show our support and our love for all the folks that maybe don't get it from everyone that they should. So, Angel, would you like to present the Christ candle, Christ consciousness candle?
Good morning.
Good morning.
For every being, the light of Christ shines through each of us, illuminating the world around us. Each one of us is a keeper of the light, shining through us to bless each person and each situation we encounter. We light this candle as a symbol of the light of Christ, so we may remember the light that shines in each one of us, no matter where we are.
I have the word on the screen, namaste, because in Sanskrit that means the light in me beholds the light in you. And that's the greeting that we have when we look people in the eyes. You can see that light often. Sometimes not so much, but a lot of times you really can. Last week I was in Kerrville, Texas, and I got to meet with a friend of mine. I was just getting to know her before I moved. But the first time I met her was at an event at the Unity there. And I didn't know her and she wasn't a part of the community, but I remembered the light in her eyes from that very first meeting. And I really wanted to share that with her. So, namaste. And Angel, once again, with our opening statement.
Our opening statement.
Are you on camera?
No.
Come to let people see.
I wanted everybody to see.
Oh, you
that.
want it? Okay. Am I in the way of it?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Okay, everybody together. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent.
So I don't see any first timers, but we're always welcome, and I'll keep this slide up. I think sometimes it falls out of the deck because we don't have a lot of first timers, but we're always welcoming, whether they're here or not. So, Unity, as you all know, we say this every week, was founded on prayer. It was just Charles and Myrtle Fillmore doing a prayer circle in their home to begin with, just really wanting people to understand that prayer works. It is truly an activating power in your life. If you first of all believe that this is true, which it is, whether you believe it or not, but you have to bring your faith and your belief to that. But also if you actively pray, especially in the way that we teach in Unity and some of the other New Thought organizations, that we pray affirming and claiming our good. We pray affirmative prayer. And yes, we're not like an ostrich. We're not sticking our heads in the ground and saying, oh, nothing bad ever happens to me. That's spiritual bypassing. We don't do that. We say, yeah, there are things that maybe we wouldn't choose if we got to be the master of the universe. However, those things do not have to have control over me. I can choose my thoughts, I can choose my words, and I can choose my actions in support of the good that I believe that exists for me. So, Silent Unity is at Unity Village in Missouri, outside of Kansas City. Someone has been praying there for over 130 years, 24 hours a day in prayer vigil. They had half hour. No, not the same person. That would be a really old and tired person, or very light. Yeah, you might live to be 130 if you stayed in prayer vigil all the time. I'm not sure, but that was a good question. Just for clarification, no. 30-minute segments that people go and sit in this room, same room, and the prayer requests are in that space with all that high energy and intention. And so whatever it is that you submit, you can call the number here, or you can go online and submit a prayer, and they even have an app called You Pray that you can have on your phone. But it's really cool to call and get one of the people who are trained to pray affirmatively, because you know that moment. I've listened in on to some of them, and you know that moment when the person starts to feel it and take on the truth of the prayer that's being said. They just go, they just lean into it. And it's beautiful. it's a wonderful experience. Even listening in, it is not everybody gets to listen in, so it was an exercise. And I'm a minister, so I'm not going to go and talk about anything I heard. Just so you know, no one's listening in all the time, but it was a reason that I was there. But it's just beautiful and it's powerful. And whether you really have something overwhelming, they're not going to say, "Oh, that little old thing in your life, why are you calling us?" No, they want to pray with you over whatever it is, and even enjoy. You can call and celebrate whatever, and just say, "I want a joyful prayer or celebration." I'm sure they would love to get some of those. But it's just a beautiful experience. And you can submit prayer requests here, and we hold them in prayer here, and then we send them up to Silent Unity, and they put them in that room where prayer has been happening all that time. And when you go to Unity Village, which you can, Jeannie's got, she's going in July. If anybody wants to join her, I'll mention it again at the end of the talk. But you feel it as soon as you arrive. It's just a holy space, and every space is holy if we have that intention. But that's what they hold there. So let's take a moment and just go back into prayer. And if you've submitted a prayer request, that's great. But if you have something on your mind or on your heart that you haven't written down, you haven't told anyone, it's just something lingering in the back of your mind, just bring that into your heart right now. And together, let's take a deep breath and release. Knowing the truth of prayer, knowing the power and the authority that we have been given, we go into this prayer time knowing that whatever it is that's on your mind in this moment or any moment to come, whether it's about your finances or relationships, your health and well-being, we know that whatever it is, there's nothing too great or too small for the power of prayer. We know that we can claim the highest and best for everyone's concern, because we know truth is that we are divine. We're an expression of all that is divine in this world, and therefore we are holy in every way, regardless of appearances. For this truth and so much more, we simply say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. Okay, and Miss Angela Taylor is going to read the daily word for us today.
Good morning. All right, today's daily word is cherish. And the affirmation is, I cherish opportunities to share the love of God. It isn't the price of something that determines its value. It is how much it is cherished. It's not how something looks or what it costs that makes it beautiful. It is the love and wonder I feel that helps me cherish it. Just like the gifts I give, I imbue my relationships with love. I cherish those for whom I care deeply, and I want them to feel cherished by me. I hold the intention for love and connection that is at the heart of my every exchange. Just as I feel cherished as a divine being, I share the love of God through my kind and considerate acts. At the heart of every kindness I extend is the prayer that those I serve will feel cherished, not only by me, but by God. From 1 Thessalonians 2:8, so deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves, because you have become very dear to us. So let's say this affirmation together. I cherish opportunities to share the love of God.
Yeah, nice. That is a great word. I cherish the tomato that Angel gave me this morning that she grew in her patio planter. Okay, so here's the process. We're going to listen to a song with our open hearts and open minds. I'm going to lead you into a meditation time, and then we'll listen to another song. Okay, everybody good for that ride? All right. So just take a deep breath in and release. Allow yourself to relax into that thought, that truth. There's only love, regardless of appearances. There's only love. Another deep breath in together. And release. The breath connects us mind, body, and spirit. Connects us in this moment one with another as we go into this time of meditation. We allow our attention to be on our breath as it moves in and out of our nostrils. Bring your attention to that little gap in between the breathing in and the breathing out. It's a subtle transition between the breath. Now allow your focus to follow your breath as it moves deeper and deeper within. Deeper still to the very center of your being, your secret place of the Most High. This is where you know that truth. There is only love. Regardless of appearances, regardless of circumstances, we know there is only love. We can claim it, we can name it, we can look for it in every situation. In this moment, we together open our hearts. We allow the love to pour out and to return again, to pour out into the world and to come back to us. Imagine it like a figure eight, moving through your heart, out, in every direction. Just sitting for a moment in this experience of love, in a moment of silence. And release that breath. Maybe good if you could move your fingers and your toes, and if you went deep on that meditation, you want to make sure you come back to this space and this time. Slowly open your eyes. So, life happens, we hear that. Sometimes we hear some other word in place of life, right? But if we're naming it good, we don't want to use that one, right? Because then we're naming it something else. So that's why I try my best when people ask me about how my house is coming, just to bite my tongue.
That can be good too sometimes.
That other thing can be good too.
Sometimes it's good to just shunt a little energy off this way and that way, but just don't go spiraling down in it. Yeah.
I heard a phrase once that said it's either a good story or a good time, or a good time or a good story.
Good time or a good story.
You're going to have a good story to tell. So
That's right.
your house is a good story.
Jeannie and I were talking about it a little bit this morning, and I was feeling myself getting kind of, but I have claimed and claimed and claimed and claimed my blessings from that, and I'm still in the process of claiming all the good, but we can name it good, and I have received a lot of growth from going through all of this. So I introduced this little graphic to you several weeks back. I don't know if it was the last time I talked or the time before that or the time before that, but we were talking about how life happens, and this idea that life happens to me, life happens by me, through me, or as me. And Michael Beckwith calls this the stages of spiritual development.
Yeah.
So it's
related to consciousness too.
it's related to your consciousness for sure. And it's also, if you look at this from a psychological standpoint, people either have an internal or an external locus of control, if you haven't heard that phrase before, which, if you look at it one way, you could be imprisoned by your perspective, or another way you could be empowered by it. So your external locus of control means things are happening outside of me that I have no influence over, I have no control over, it's just happening to me. And what do we call that? It's a victim consciousness, right? We're completely helpless in the situation. Now, it's not that you can never have that point of view. However, it doesn't serve us. It doesn't get us anywhere. In psychology, the external locus of control refers to the belief that external factors, or even luck or fate, we just hand everything over to some other force and just throw our hands in the air. I know one person who told me one time, I'm just not an overcomer. And if that's your belief, that's exactly what your experience will be. You will not be overcoming anything if that's what you believe. You'll just be imprisoned by your own mind.
Yes.
It's really our own thoughts that put us in that situation. And we have dominion over our thoughts and our words and our actions, and we can change this. I'm not saying you can't be there ever. Sometimes we're just like, oh, that's where I am right now. And we can pivot, we can shift out of that by starting to claim our good. Life happens, but we have to name it good. I don't know what my good is that's going to come out of the situation, but I know it's there, and I'm going to start looking for it. You know, there's a Bible story about Jacob wrestling, the angels were going up and down the ladder, and he was dreaming, and he's wrestling the angels to get his blessing. Sometimes we have to really wrestle to get our blessings. I mean, we have to take them down and say, Angel, not you, not Angela, not Angel, but we don't want to take you down. You're too valuable. But we have to say, I am, and this is our consciousness, right? It's not really an angel we're going to take down, but we're saying, I am going to get my blessing out of this ridiculous situation. Whatever it takes, I am going to claim my good. And we can do that. So that moving from victim on to by me, right? I am the one. I can take control. I can choose my thoughts. I can empower myself, which is one of the words in our mission statement, is empowering people. But we can move from that helpless feeling into, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. I can take different measures. I can think differently. I can use different words. I can change the outcome. This is your internal locus of control. When you believe, I have the choice. All right, maybe I tripped up a little bit mentally and emotionally for a minute, and I smacked down. That's what I used to say about when I was going through a divorce. I tripped and went metaphorically smack down on the pavement, you know, got to pick yourself up. Yeah, a face plant, exactly. But when you go through things like that, you can stay with your face down and you can cry, or you can pull your head up just a little bit at a time and you can look around. And luckily for me, that's also when I found unity. But we believe when we have an internal locus of control, we believe that individuals can control their actions and their thoughts and their words, and actually control the outcome. Not control in a contractive way, but have influence over. Control from our standpoint of influence. And that's when you're in the manifester. So you go from victim stage to, hey, I know I can make different choices, I can use different words. And this is part of what we teach in Unity. But sometimes when you're in that mode, you start thinking, yeah, I'm the architect of my life. I'm going to just draw it all out, and I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to do a vision board. I'm going to make a list. I'm going to set my goals. And it all works. And there are limitations. Why are there limitations? Because we're human beings. So this is where we're coming from with our third principle in Unity, right? I think. Our thoughts create our experiences. I can think a certain way, I can start to see, and there's a lot of, I need to bring this book, I need to do a talk from this book, The Source, by Tara Swart. She's a MIT psychiatrist and neuroscientist. So she has brought together spiritual practices and neuroscience to say, when we do this, it works, because here's the neuroscience behind it. And it does work. That's why I tell you all the time, it's the law. It is the way things work. And, you know, for you science nerds, then I get excited about things like that. It's not woo-woo anymore. It's science. But anyway, I love this from Philippians 4:8, from the text of the Bible. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, and whatever is commendable, if there's any excellence, and if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Anything worthy of praise. Anything. Oops, went the wrong way. That's easy, right? You look at a beautiful exotic flower, it's like, ooh. Or you see a couple of little girls comforting each other, walking and being besties. You don't have to jump in the middle of their experience to also admire that connection that they're having. That connection you can have with natural beauty, with natural relationships like this. It's just so sweet. But we can admire every little thing like that that comes into our sphere. And we benefit from that admiration. We benefit from that positive feeling, that appreciation that we're putting into that moment. But here's the deal. We're still in our personality. To me and by me. We're still working from our personality only. And what we really want to do is we want to move up the scale a little bit. So this is where the fifth principle comes in. This is remember, God is, I am, I think, I pray, I do. This is the do part. Knowing and understanding spiritual law is simply the foundation. It's just the first step. We must put it into action. We must really allow ourselves to practice principle so that we have the experience of principle and the outworking of it so that we understand the law. We understand what works and why it works. And then, not the control as in controlling our environment, but choosing. We control by choosing, even if we might tend to go, wait, we can go, oops, that didn't feel good. I'm going to reframe that for myself and for everybody else in the room. Let me say it this way. And change it to an affirmation. Change it to seeing the good. So again, the 5 principles. God is, I am, I think, I pray, I do. God is everywhere present, all of the time, without exception. There is the Hermetic principles of ancient Egypt say, all is in the all, and the all, meaning God, is in all. Whether you agree or disagree, whether somebody looks different or smells funny or speaks a certain way or behaves, has certain practices, God is 100% in that person, in that situation, in that environment, just as with you and myself. But God is, I am, I think, our thoughts produce, I pray. Prayer and meditation is how we increase our awareness of God. We're not increasing our connection with God, because you know what? You are never disconnected from that divine source that we name God. Never, ever, ever. The only thing is our awareness. Where are we placing our attention and our awareness? When we place it somewhere else rather than on divinity, then that's what we experience. But if we keep it, if we do our prayer meditation time, whether that's morning or evening or both, take that sacred moment and connect yourself in and know. And then of course take your action. Show up, do the things that reflect that. So these two first principles, I cannot stress enough how these two principles will help you move into that more developed spirituality. God is everywhere present, and I am, you are, everything is an expression of God. It's really true. It's so true, and we just don't treat one another as if it is. We don't treat ourselves. We don't look in the mirror and go, "Oh, good morning, God." But why not? Right? Because when you do, if you give yourself that moment of, I see you, I see that divinity in you, you will see it in your eyes. If you will claim that. But we've just been conditioned to believe otherwise, to the point where it's uncomfortable and we're embarrassed and we just won't lean into our divinity. But we can choose to, little by little by little. We can show up, we can be of service. So many of you do things around here that helps us to be a community and to run and to keep moving. But every little thing you do, whether it's hold the door for somebody, or you see someone at the grocery store who's grumbling along, let them go in line in front of you. Do whatever. Just a little tiny thing where you're showing up a little bit higher than you were 1 second ago. Because it's only about this moment, the present moment, and then this moment. This is the moment. And then this one. Right? So we have this choice in this moment. Whatever we did yesterday, you know, that's what we did. But we can reflect on it and say, okay, I can do better. I can show up in a new way. I can look at myself in the mirror. I'm inviting you to do this because it's hard work. The mirror work is not easy. But the love that you crack open in your heart when you will love yourself. Because if you're not loving yourself, you can't love anyone else. That's the truth. So that's where we're moving from personality into soul. The actual living from that divinity. Through me, it's kind of like, you've heard the term flow. It was big in the 70s. I don't know if anybody even uses it anymore. But sometimes now, yeah, you do flow arts, right? You got the flow man here, so everybody talk to Esther about that. So, but sometimes people think it's channeling something other than yourself when you're in that flow. But you are all of that. So when you have that moment and that excellence comes through you, you write the perfect note to someone from your heart, and these words come pouring out as if it came from another being. That's an aspect of you. Don't dismiss that as, I was channeling someone else. No, yes, you might have been, but that something else is an aspect of you. It's not separate from you. You are that beauty. You are that elegance. You are that truth that flows out through you at any given time. And the more you acknowledge it, and the more you respect it, and the more you love it, the more it shows up. Then you move to as me. It's the beingness. I'm not in my flow moment. I just am. I am life. I am love. I am peace when I need to be peace. Boy, that one has been for me to show up at peace a lot lately. I mean, just, and I have to stop and go, what do I want to do? Do I want to throw down in this moment, or do I want to stand? Because sometimes we need to have boundaries, right? So we don't have to lose our peace to have healthy boundaries. People will test them, and you can keep them, but you don't have to be mad about it. You can just say, no, that's not, yeah, I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to engage with that. I don't think I will, thank you anyway. I'm not mad at you. Well, I'm just not going to go there with you on what Greg Bear in, what's his work called? Something about real love.
Yes,
Calls it the field of death. When you're going there and nobody's backing off, you may as well just both lay down and put a bag over your head. He doesn't say that, but it's like, nobody's going to win when you're on the field of death. You're just going to get stuck there in your opposition to one another and not move forward. So when you show up as me, and you don't need to win, you're just being, you know that within you is the oneness with the divine, and also with the person speaking to you in whatever kind of way that they are also divine. They are, regardless of how they're showing up. It's hard. This is hard work. This is not easy stuff. But when you make, and if you're in this room, you're probably on this trajectory, right? So you're working through this, and you know it's time that you live from your soul and not from your personality. Not that our personality is wrong. We're going to slip back into that sometimes. But for me, when I do, like dealing with the contractor, when I try to effort and project manage it, I just meet with the brick wall. And that, what does it do? It just hurts my heart. It just makes me frustrated. It makes me just want to break down and whine a lot. And I'm not even a big whiner. But why? Why do I need to do that? That's what just came to me during the meditation. I need to have a meeting with them, but you know what? I need to be loved before I go to the meeting. I don't need to go in with the hammer. Because I dropped a profanity last time I had to have a call, little sit down with them. But I did it strategically. It's not my way of talking, but I did. And they were like, and I said, okay, I'm sorry, but I needed you to start listening to me. And I thought, if you saw the little old lady over here using the ugly word, then you will listen to me. I don't advise it. I still feel guilty about it, obviously, because I told you about it. But there are ways for us to show up. We know we can. Because we are divine, every single one of us. And if we call that from another, they must come. They might have behaviors, and they might still act whatever, but they must come. It's the law. They meet us where we are. It's truth. It's just the way it works. So, synchronicity, I love. Anybody had experiences of synchronicity? So much, right? And this is another thing, this Carl Jung wrote a lot about this. He's a psychologist. Psychiatrist, I think. A psychiatrist, right? But he did a lot of shadow work, he developed that whole, which is important for all of us to do. He also is really big into the soul work, and he says, the coming together of inner and outer events in a way that cannot be explained by cause and effect. You know what cause and effect is, right? It's a law, right? You do something, you see an effect from it. We see that all the time. I say something kind to someone, they smile. I say something unpleasant to somebody, they recoil. But you can't find always the cause and effect to some things that happen, especially a series of things. I call it just the energy, right? The energy, the universe, just put all the things together in a way. If I was efforting, I could never have created it in that way. This is the way we're meant to live. But you can't find the cause and effect, and it's meaningful.
Yes.
it's meaningful to you. So you're like, oh yeah, that happened, but I could not have created that. Not even with my treasure mapping and my list of things. It's just the universe at work. This is where we are when we're in flow, right? We don't even know sometimes exactly what we want until it shows up and we're like, I always wanted that. And I never even knew that that was the experience or that was what I wanted to know until there it is. It's like the universe knew. The universe is within each one of us, calling us to our highest nature. So if we allow ourselves to be present with that and to know that it's true, then the synchronicity can just present itself. It's just, it's amazing when it happens. And for me, quite honestly, I still don't 100% understand why I moved back to Arkansas. But I knew that I had to, because things just fell into place and brought me into a house that was going to be hit by a tornado. Did the universe have to do it that way? I don't know. We're still talking about that, but we have to accept that everything brings a benefit and everything is good. And we have to name it good, because life happens. Okay, so this is, I love this picture because it's, nature is synchronicity, 100%, right? Have you ever watched a flock of birds fly and how they're not up there going, hey, you take the lead for a while, my wings are getting tired. They just do it. It just comes together. They know where they're going there together. It's not a design that is from the intellect. It's a design that's from the heart. It's nature. It's natural. And it's natural for us to continue to evolve and to have experiences that take us to that next level of comprehension of our own divinity. And everything is designed that way to take us to that understanding so that we can get it, so that we can do what we came to this lifetime to do. So I mentioned earlier the ancient Egyptian Hermetic principles. This is also one of them. As above, so below. As within, so without. As above, so below. That's why we do our prayer and meditation. As within, so without. This is why we have to claim our good. We have to look in the mirror. We have to see the divinity. We have to know the divinity in each one of us. Starting here at home, in our own heart. And then we can look at others and see that. As within, so without. So prayer and meditation, that's how we do it. I wish it was easier than that, but, and I know people, there's a lot of plant medicine activity going on right now, and those things can take you there, but it requires integration to keep you there. So meditation can take you there. I've had some very psychedelic experiences in meditation alone when I was like on a long, like several days of all day in and out of meditation. Because that's, we have to get beyond what we believe is our human experience sometimes. And I'm not against plant medicine. I just think that, no, that's not the be-all end-all, right? You had a moment, but that moment wasn't it. That was that moment. You need to bring that, what you learned in that moment, into this moment, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So again, the 5 principles. God is, I am. So just think of this as almost and I've said this before, a formula for transformation. When you understand that God is everywhere and you are an expression of God, and you pay attention to your thoughts and your words, and you do your alignment with prayer and meditation, and then you act as divine. You're acting as the divinity that lives within you. You're a human being, yes, but you're equally a divine being all the time, whether you show up that way every day or not. whether you have to drop a little profanity and strategically place a moment. So what we really want to do is move from that personality where we're making something happen. So even when you're in victim mode, sometimes you can make something happen.
Oh, yeah.
You might file a lawsuit, or you might
guilt
go
is
and do.
powerful.
It's very powerful. It really manipulates quickly and deadly. You know, it's like whoosh, right to it. Shame manipulates really fast. If anybody's ever had a parent or parented, or lots of religious organizations, that's very heavy in the doctrine. But you are still doing it. You're making something happen on the level of the personality. And we're not against the personality, but we want the personality to be balanced, like yin and yang, with the soul. It's not just one or the other, although sometimes it feels like that. But see, when you're coming from the soul, you're not making it happen. You're surrendering to what is happening. And you're going, whoa, look at this. You're yielding to the unfolding of the universe in your life. And it feels like magic, but it's not. You're in the flow. You're in the oneness. You get all, that's what, that one, I don't know very many people that are beyond flow and into real oneness. No, I've known a few, but not a whole lot. But we can still,
We have moments.
yeah, we have those moments, and we can still know that it's there, regardless. You know, you really are, you know, it's really just back and forth all day long. Sometimes we're in a little victim, sometimes we're moving up and we're like, we're not gonna be that, we're gonna choose differently. I'm gonna experience it, and then I'm just gonna be it. Just gonna be. So that's how you feel when you're in oneness and flow, just celebrating. So look at our mission statement: to shine light, peace, and love by empowering. Empowering. That's what the 5 principles allow us to do. Empower ourselves first, and when we're empowered, we're not trying to hold anybody else down. We're empowering others by our presence. Just by showing up, you're empowering others and transforming lives. We can't transform someone else's life, but we can transform our own, so that we raise our vibe and we give people that space, and we see for them the truth of their being, that they are truly divine. And of course, we have our through service and community in every other way. So I want to share this little poem. Last night I spent so much time reading, I almost read the whole book again, because this poetry is so good, and I had a hard time really picking, and I might read it and go, oh, why did I pick that? Because that happens sometimes. But this poem is called, I'm Here to Rock Your Small Boat. I'm here to rock your small boat and knock you into the sea. Believe it or not, this kind of capsizing is what you've all been praying for, because you never were meant to be that small, unstable boat. You have always been the sea. I no longer feel like enabling you away from drowning every illusion in your great vastness. I'm ready to introduce you to your power, for every pore of your knowing, to drink it in, to drink in its profound depths. Knock you out of your small boat and bring you to your divinity, which is already where you are. What are we putting our attention on? So I like to give you homework, so you practice this week. It's kind of the same every time, if you haven't noticed. It's always about sitting, getting still, quieting your mind, breathing. Breathing lets that energy move and allows us to become more and more aware, to get out of this physicalness And then just be in that meditation time with the intention of, I'm going to surrender. I'm going to lean into my flow. I'm going to know the truth of who I am. And then come out of that meditation and live from that. Live from that perspective. Thank you all today. Appreciate you. Namaste. So this is our opportunity to give. Dave's not here. Who's gonna? Roger, you got the basket? Okay. You know, we're a volunteer organization, so we always want to acknowledge Angel, Angela, everybody who showed up today. If you picked up a piece of paper off the floor, you put some snacks out, you adjusted the temperature, filled up the water, the tea kettle, all of those things are acts of service, and they're greatly appreciated. And so anytime you see something that needs to be done, just, know that we appreciate you doing that.